All right, we're back. We're at Food Truck Tuesdays, May 30th Alliance. We're reading from the history of the Winnebago-Boone County Integrity Task Force. Reading Philip Johnson. Officer Soria, 45 and 18-year veteran of the department, arrived on the scene, exited his vehicle with his gun drawn but carried at his side, and he too ordered Philip Johnson to show his hands, only to witness the man put the car in reverse and ran the officer's squad car again. So how did he do that from the back seat? Ruscato said Soria then saw Philip Johnson reach into the back seat. He's in the back seat. Fearing for the safety of Officer Johnson, Trotter, her front seat passenger, other officers on the scene, Soria fired 2 times through the front windshield, striking Philip Johnson twice in the chest. Ruscato said Trotter and Gatlin were unharmed and were not charged. Philip Johnson died at the scene. Ruscato estimated 6 minutes passed between the time the vehicle was pulled over and the shooting. Deputy State's Attorney Ross said police recovered from the rear floorboard a loaded .40 caliber Springfield handgun which contained Philip Johnson's DNA or skin cells. Officers also recovered from the vehicle a prescription bottle containing cocaine because they wanted to make sure they criminalized him. Ruscato said Philip Johnson's DNA also was on the bottle. Winnebago County State's Attorney Sue Fiducia said no cocaine was found in Philip Johnson's system, but she said he was legally intoxicated. Ruscato also said Philip Johnson was a member of the Waco Street Gang, and the gun had been reported stolen to the Rockford Police Department in 2011, further criminalizing him. Ruscato said the task force's investigation showed there were no shots fired at the dance club or at any time by the weapon recovered. The investigation also showed the officers' accounts of the event matched those of 2 witnesses. The task force formed in 2009 in the wake of the officer-involved shooting of Mark Anthony Barmore was created to provide an independent investigation into officer-involved shootings by removing the involved department from the investigation. Police officers from Winnebago County departments have used deadly force 31 times since September 1992, according to information from the state's attorney's officer and Register Star Archives. Half of those times the use of force killed a suspect. A grand jury has found all officers' use of force in those incidents to be justified. Okay. All right, we're down here at Food Truck Tuesday. We got Faustin Guatigo shot in his home on April 10th, 2021. Not 2012, not 2018, 2021. Just months ago, the Winnebago-Boone Integrity Task Force has come to its conclusion on the killing of Faustin Guatigo, but they have not released the findings yet. They've handed over the investigation to the state's attorney, Jay Hanley, who's going to put it out at the opportune time, probably on a Friday night or sometime when everybody's busy and not paying any attention. This is Jose Gonzalez. He was shot in the leg while running away by Officer Owen McGinnis, who has had multiple use of force incidents in the past. They released body cam footage, but there was no body cam footage or dash cam footage of the actual shooting. And the gun that they found on him was not found on him. It was found in the grass nearby, supposedly, and all they have is a picture of the gun in the grass. He will have to have a rod in his leg for the rest of his life. So back to the pamphlet. Eugene Washington, Gino Washington. Date of incident, October 28th, 2019. Officer involved, unknown. Location of event, Winnebago County Jail. Injuries from event, Gino died. Integrity Task Force findings, natural causes. Release date of findings, May 5th, 2020. Due to the lack of public information available about the deaths of Gino Washington and Joseph McCormick while inside of the Winnebago County Jail, we have included an article written in the Rockford Register-Star to inform and highlight the events surrounding their deaths and the struggle of the people close to them to receive answers. This synopsis was taken from a story by Kristen Crowley for WREX. Two families who've never met share something in common they never imagined. Their loved ones walked into the Winnebago County Jail and would never walk out. This is not a jail, this is a death building, said Teresa Derrickson, Joseph McCormick's mother. I want closure because I know something happened to my son, said Eugene Lindsay, the father of Eugene Washington. Washington died on October 28th. That's nearly the only fact his family has. The autopsy and toxicology report are showing no signs of anything, said Lindsay. Less than 2 months later, as Eugene's family searched for answers, another inmate died. It was a shock too, and I was hoping for a wake-up call for Rockford. Something is obviously going on, said Janisha Shaw, Eugene's cousin. Then on December 1st, Winnebago County Coroner Bill Hintz said Joseph McCormick hanged himself in his cell. His last words to me were, I love you, Dad. I'll call you tomorrow. That doesn't sound like someone who's going to commit suicide to me, said Rick McCormick, Joseph's father. Both families say they're fighting for answers from the sheriff, as well as video from inside the jail on the day the men died. The sheriff's office will only say the deaths are under investigations. The families say that's not good enough. Stuff is happening. People are coming up dead on your watch. That shows me you're all not doing your job, Lindsay said. I understand that there's criminals in here and there's people that committed crimes and they deserve to be punished for their crimes. I understand that, but not to die. Not to come in here and die, said Derrickson. In 2018, another death was reported from inside the jail. The jail was eventually sued for a wrongful death of Justin Matthews. Mikey Guzman. Date of incident, August 23rd, 2020. Officer involved, Sawyer Kurth. Location of event, South Beloit. Injuries from event, 1 murdered. Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force finding justified. Release date of findings to be determined. This synopsis was taken from a story by Chris Green for Rockford Register-Star. A grieving mother who lost a son when he was struck and killed nearly 2 months ago by a South Beloit patrol officer's squad car is now losing patience. Juanita Eslora is the mother of Michael Guzman, 35, the man who was struck in the early morning hours of August 23rd by Officer Sawyer Kurth. Eslora was joined by about 20 family members and friends Saturday in the 600 block of Black Hawk Boulevard, where they prayed and later lit candles and demanded to know why the investigation is taking so long. He was my best friend. He was my son. He was my everything, Esmora said. Guzman's sister, Olivia Guzman, described her brother as a people person and a father of 5 children. He would bend over backwards for a whole lot of people, she said. He was a good father and a good brother. We want answers, we want peace, and we want closure. South Beloit Police Chief Adam Truman also attended the gathering and expressed his condolences to the family, but he could not provide them any answers about the ongoing investigation as it was immediately turned over to the Winnebago County Sheriff's Department. He would bend over backwards for a whole lot of people, she said. Okay. I already heard that. We're in the same boat, he said. We're waiting for the investigation to conclude. Once the investigation is complete, it will be turned over to the Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office. Meanwhile, Kurth, a member of the department since November, remains on administrative leave depending the outcome of an internal investigation, which will also be handled by the Sheriff's Department. That investigation is expected to determine whether the officer followed all policies and procedures before and after the incident. He ran him over with his car. I've never heard anything saying that they thought that he did it on purpose, like an accident. But if you hit somebody with your car, even if there's no harmful intent, you're going to jail. This officer, he's back on duty now. Killed somebody with his car. That's why we know that there's a culture of impunity amongst officers in Winnebago County, all the way from South Beloit to Winnebago County Sheriff's Department, to Rockford Police Department, to Loves Park Police Department, to Belvedere. That's Boone County, but that is in the task force. Let's see. And we got Tyrus Jones. Date of incident, October 2nd, 2020. Name of victim, Tyrus Jones. Officer involved, Dominic McNeese. Location of event, South Main and Harrison Avenue. Injuries from event, sustained multiple life-threatening gunshot wounds. Tyrus Jones was shot in the back multiple times. Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force findings, justified. Release date of findings, November 24th, 2020. This synopsis was taken from a Rockford Register-Star article by Chris Green and Kevin Haas. Police officer Dominic McNeese was cleared of wrongdoing Tuesday in the shooting of a fleeing man last month. McNeese, a 7-year veteran of the Rockford Police Department, was justified in his use of deadly force October 2nd when he shot Tyrus Jones. Winnebago County State's Attorney Marilyn Height Ross said during a news conference at the Winnebago County Courthouse, Height Ross said McNeese had reason to believe that Jones was a threat to the public based on warrants out for his arrest and that Jones was being investigated as a potential homicide suspect. McNeese shot Jones twice in the back and once in the arm as Jones fled his vehicle after a high-speed chase ended in a crash. We've heard multiple conflicting reports about how many times he was shot in the back. At least 4 times. I think there was a fifth bullet that just grazed him in the back of his wrist. McNeese shot Jones twice in the... Okay. McNeese thought Jones had a weapon. He was legally justified to use force he believed was necessary to prevent the escape. Height Ross said, in addition, based upon Officer McNeese's observations of the defendant at the time, he reasonably believed that the defendant had a weapon, even though a weapon was not found. We've heard that before. Oh, they had a gun, and it turned out to be a cell phone, or their wallet, or lots of different things, keys. In this case, he didn't have anything. Thought he had a gun, so he shot him in the back while he was running away. Justified. The United States Supreme Court has said that determining whether a police officer's use of force is justified must embody an allowance for the fact that police officers are often forced to make split-second decisions about the amount of force necessary in a particular situation. And that's part of the problem, because places like Rockford, the police have a culture of impunity. So they just shoot whenever they feel like it, and they know that they'll be justified. The state's attorney also said that after reviewing the events that led up to the shooting, she opted to charge Jones with attempted vehicular hijacking and fleeing to elude an officer. A grand jury indicted Jones on those charges, she said. Height Ross' decision was made after reviewing the findings of the Winnebago-Boone County Integrity Task Force, a group of officers from outside the Rockford force who investigated the shooting. Height Ross did not confirm whether the shooting was captured on video. We've heard multiple reports, including from the mayor, that there is a video. They will not release the video. They're scared of releasing the video because then we will know how many shots were fired, at least. Jones was charged last week with first-degree murder and aggravated discharge of a firearm in connection with the September 26th shooting death of 25-year-old Damavli Macklin. On October 2nd, Jones, 21, of Rockford, was wanted on charges of aggravated discharge of a firearm and two separate warrants for alleged aggravated domestic battery when he was spotted by police in a vehicle. The officer attempted to make a traffic stop, but Jones fled and later crashed his vehicle in the area of South Main Street and Springfield Avenue. Jones exited the damaged vehicle and, according to police, appeared to be armed as he was approached another vehicle. From the witness in the passenger seat, he never approached another vehicle, and then as soon as he got out of the vehicle and started to run, he was shot. So he was like feet from his vehicle when he was shot. He did not have a weapon, so that was all made up at the scene. That's when McNeese fired 5 shots, 3 that struck Jones. There's been, like I said, there's been a lot of discrepancy about how many shots, and if they would release the video, we would know how many shots were fired. A lot more than 5. Chief Dan O'Shea said now that the state's attorney has rendered her decision, an internal administrative review of the shooting will begin. We have not ever heard anything from the Rockford Police Department about the results of that internal investigation. I am sure we never will. They don't want to release any kind of findings. He said he appreciated the thorough investigation conducted by the task force. I am thankful that the victim in the attempted vehicular hijacking, which didn't happen, was unharmed and no one was fatally injured during the pursuit and subsequent shooting, O'Shea said in a news release. Tyrus Jones, the suspect in the case, is still at large on an outstanding murder warrant, and we are asking for the public's help in locating him. He's actually in jail now. They arrested him on that warrant, and he's in jail. Leslie Rolfe is among a group of community activists seeking police reform and accountability. The group has been camping out daily on the sidewalk outside City Hall in the wake of the shooting of Jones. I'm not surprised, Rolfe said, of the state's attorney's ruling the shooting justified. Since its formation, in the wake of the August 24, 2009 fatal shooting of Mark Anthony Barmore, the Winnebago Boone County Integrity Task Force was investigated numerous cases of officer use of deadly force. Some cases seem more black and white, and others seem like they have more of a gray area, but the only commonality that they all have is that the police was justified in the shooting each time. So I would have been more surprised if it had been ruled not justified. 3 hours after Hite Ross news conference, Rolfe held his own, calling for police dashboard camera video to be released. It is yet to be released, as well as any video from nearby businesses. He said that the video is owned by the public. All right. All right, so we're out here at Food Truck Tuesday. It's Churros Week. Come get your churros and your history of the Winnebago Boone County Integrity Task Force pamphlet. I think we've read through every case now. Barmore. Oh yeah?
Different types too. Guy who got into it with Ari at supermarket.
Oh yeah? The one I did too?
The one who had the beard, who was like, he said something to him, he was like, good job. Not out. Yeah, good job, good concern.
All right, I'm hearing that it's real hot out here. It's real hot out here at Food Truck Tuesdays. Come get your churros. Get your the history of the Winnebago Boone County Integrity Task Force pamphlets. We got business cards.
Upside down.
What's that? Oh, upside down. Good call. Probably backwards now anyway. I just read the Tyrus Jones article in the pamphlet. Talks about occupation of City Hall. We've been there every day for 249 days. If you want to come down and talk to us without the noise of churros in the background, hit us up at City Hall. You want to get on the mic?
I don't know. You want to end it? Like 7, I think it's like 7:30. 7:30, 7:22.
Alright, we're going to end this live. We're down at Food Truck Tuesday. We'll be at City Hall. We got City Market on Friday. Last Friday we had people arrested for writing with chalk. Come on down, we're outside.